Hey sports fans, I just want to take a moment to give a big shout out to Thompson Performance. If you're looking to take your game to the next level and prepare for the demands of college athletics, Thompson Performance is the place to be. Their tailored training programs are designed to help athletes like you push past limits and unlock your full potential. You can reach Thompson Performance at their Instagram on screen or click the link down below. Hi sports fans, welcome back to the fourth quarter finish. Today I am here and so happy to be joined by Devon Johnson. He's a 6'7", 310-pound lineman out of the Ferris State, and he's got one heck of a story. I am so excited for you guys to hear about what he's went through, his journey to get to the scouting combine, to get to the pros, to playing for the Green Bay Blizzard now. It's just an incredible story. So without further ado, go ahead and say hi to the fans.
Hey, how we doing today, guys?
Hey, you know, it's always great to have a guy of your caliber on here. Obviously, we're so grateful to have you on. So the way I normally like to start these is let's just have an icebreaker right off the bat. So I hear, you're pretty interested in Oregon. I hear
Yeah.
that, how'd you feel about their transition to the Big Ten this past year?
I thought it was a perfect transition. Them running the GT and running the power scheme themselves, they already had really big, fast tackles. I feel like they was always known for having the big, fast tackles with the nice 40 speeds, and the heavy run game. It was like, I feel like it was long overdue.
Right. Yeah, they never really played, Pac-12 football, I would say. It's hard to say that, but, I think they play a lot more Big Ten style, grounded pound, I think is kind of their thing. Obviously, Dylan Gabriel was amazing this past year, but I thought it was an interesting transition for sure. But they look pretty good out there. They hung in there for sure with a lot of teams this year, including Ohio State at least once. But that changed. But so I wanted to give everybody a little introduction into you. So you have one accolade. I don't know if you remember it or not, and it might be a little controversial, but I hear you started 51 consecutive games for the Ferris State Bulldogs.
That's correct. That's correct. Yes.
Take us into how did that happen?
So Rob Zeitman gave me the full run through how he wanted my true freshman year to go. And I followed everything he wanted me to do. I stayed committed to the program. I went to go work out with players like Jason Vanderline and the Dark Angelos and the Lamps. And with their help, they helped build up my body and build up me mentally and make me more confident in myself and push me to be the athlete I needed to be my redshirt freshman year. And once I stepped on the field, I didn't get to step on the field too much in high school. So I made sure that I was going to stay on the field no matter what. Any bumps or bruises, I was in there with Dave Lucy 24/7 trying to roll out something, fix a hip, get me back in line because I wanted to get back out there.
Right. So you were willing to do whatever it took to make sure you were on that field because and we'll get into it later, but your high school career, you said you always had to work, you had to have that dog mentality. So it's only fitting you went to a school that had a bulldog as their mascot, dog mentality, bulldog.
No coincidences in life,
Good. Right, exactly. No coincidence, just fate. I hear that said multiple times. So that's a really amazing accomplishment. Now, I hear you also said that it's actually not 51. You want the record.
It's 52. Changed. It's 52. I got hurt. I rolled my ankle, and it ended up being more than just a rolled ankle. And it was like a bit of a small tear in my Achilles, and that kind of pushed me out of getting that 52. But it should have been 52 for sure.
Should have been 52. Let it be known on the record for everybody watching this, including Ferris State. It's 52. All right.
It's 52. It matched the jersey number.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Jersey number. It's got to match, right? Like you said, no coincidences in life.
No coincidence.
It was meant to be. So how I know you obviously is you coached in Caledonia, which is so amazing. And we're thankful every day for what you've done for, the community, what you've done for the football program. Tell me a little bit about what your mindset was developing, incoming talent. How did that really start?
The starting development young talent came from more like, again, Rob Zeitman, having an opportunity to go coach with him at the school previous in the same conference. And he gave me a lot of small life lessons to understand a youth life lesson, if that makes sense. So it's like you can't really teach a life lesson without going through some life lessons. So it's for example, I couldn't figure out why kids didn't want to be consistent with football. And I kept trying to explain to them if they did this and that, this will happen. And then it's no, you're going against the instant gratification. So it's like, how can I bring instant gratification in a way that it's not actually instant and it just makes them love the long road more than the short road. And once I kind of grasped that and played with that a bit, I figured that out. I loved it even more. So like I made my way to Coach Whitney. And then Whitney was like, I like what you're doing with my guys at my camp. Would you mind coming to coach at our high school? And that's how I got connected with Coach P, and then the rest was history.
I'll tell you what. So, talk to me a little bit more too about your relationship with Witt, because like I said, I had Witt as a D line coach. He gets the really high pitched voice going when he's going, but it's always the best. When Witt's on one, he's on
Yep.
one. So, like,
Yep.
what is your relationship with Witt like?
So I got lucky, right? So when I was at Ferris, I want to say around my junior, senior year, a lot of the alumni started to come back up to Ferris, and that was like when we were like in our prime of winning and stuff like that before like the big national championship wins, obviously. But
Right.
so it was like the early stages, and I got the opportunity to meet Whit, meet Nate, and once I got to meet those guys, then I felt like I should, keep in contact with them, right? Because the
Mhm.
Rob Zeitman and Niece telling me like, hey, they coach down in Grand Rapids. Those would be good people to be stay connected to for after college. So once that after college, my pro time in the CFL started to die down, Whitney had hit me up to do a camp, and it had to be his Michigan camp. So I was like,
Right.
okay, cool, I'll come over there. And once I started coaching there, I was like, hey, this is pretty cool. I hit a Rob, went to Rob, and then so it was like a back and forth thing between Rob and Witt.
Witt.
But in the end, I still went with Witt. So it was
Right.
like, it was pretty cool to get to know Witt from the alumni stance of like how he played and when he was winning back in the day and like how hard it was and what was pushing him. And he had a long pro career himself. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Playing arena ball, playing in the CFL, coaching arena ball. Like this. He has a very very long resume with nothing but really good stuff on it. So
Right. Right. Yeah.
it was
Witt.
it was a beautiful opportunity to get to meet him as a 20 year old, and then flash forward 26, 27 year old. I'm like, hey, like I need a job. He's like, I got an opportunity for you.
Wow. Yeah, that's an incredible, like I said, Witt, is one of the guys, like he's been in the game. Like
Yeah.
he's been in the game. So like when he talks, it's one of those guys you just listen. You listen to what he's saying, and back even in my day, Witt demanded a lot of respect that
Yep.
he very much earned. Like great guy, obviously. So that's awesome to hear. And I heard you talk a little bit too before we started recording, but talk about how much it meant to you as a senior to mentor incoming freshmen.
Oh, that was huge. My sophomore year, I had got the opportunity to mentor freshmen, and it let me pick the brains of an 18-year-old as I'm 19, and like figure out like what got them to college and what was important to them and what kind of goals they were setting for themselves for the next 5 years. So it was like like that was like a pre-coaching moment for myself. I got to coach up the next level and while get to know them and pick their brains to see like, again, what was important to them. So
Right.
it reinforced what was important to me. It reinforced a lot of my goals and reinforced me to stay consistent and push them to stay consistent to show them what the long road had in store. So
Right.
it was really cool.
Did you always picture yourself like in a coaching role eventually in your life?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Is always
Yes.
something you kind of wanted to strive towards, it
Yeah.
and that's awesome to hear. We need guys that have that in that level of the game and the understanding of the game to coach, any level they can. It's incredible. Listening to you talk about, your and we'll get into it. I don't want to spoil it too much right now, but
Yeah. No, you're fine.
listening to you talk about your experiences is just incredible. Like, and going right into it, your pro playing career. What an incredible story you got. So you went undrafted to the Falcons. What was that like? That whole experience of me, being with the big dogs.
Yeah. That was it was a great. It was one of a kind. It was a one of a kind experience for sure. I didn't get drafted. I went undrafted.
Mhm.
And getting to know Coach Morgan and Quinn when I was at the NFL Combine was surreal, and I just felt like it was, like I believe in no coincidences. Like I felt like them calling me after the Seahawks had called me. Like I felt like I was like, no, I want to go be a bird because like I felt a connection with those coaches, right? And
Right.
that's what you really want going into the NFL is like those connections that you make with people and
Right.
how important they are to you and stuff like that. So you want to keep that as tight as possible. So like when I got down to the Falcons, it was like, you know, it's going to be a learning curve. I gotta perform. Right, my performance is what got me here, but now I gotta perform and learn the new curriculum.
Right.
And with the learning curve, the lingos and the new nuances that they had to call out plays and how they calling out blitzes and what's not. It was a bit much, but
Hmm.
all in all, I would say it was one of a kind. And to the next person, I don't know if we got to that point yet, but to the to
Right.
the to the next person, I would definitely say like just be straight up and honest about what's going on in your life.
Mhm.
And when the coaches is asking, they're asking for what good reason, even if it's bad reason. It's like you should tell them, right? Because if you
Right.
withhold stuff, then they're going to assume it's something else, or go with their opinion of what's going on since you didn't want to bring up anything.
Right, right. That's a great point. You got to be yourself and be honest. They're asking for a reason. You got to assume, and that's a great point. That's really good for a lot of the young athletes to hear for sure. And so obviously playing for being a part of the Falcons organization, you met some pretty cool cats, I hear, right?
Oh
So
yeah, for
you know
sure.
who,
I'm saying I got like Matty Ice still in my contacts. I'm seeing to change his number, and like I got Matthews, Jake, and like what I'm saying. Obviously, I got to play with Justin Zimmer, who played at
right?
Ferris. He was down there right while I was down there too. Like it was insane. Being there with Brad, not Bradbury, but we talked about Bradbury earlier,
Right,
but
right, right, right.
uh, no, being there with Jacob McGarry
Oh,
and my
okay,
guy from Boston
Caleb, yeah.
College, and it was a really intense group of people that were down there.
Hmm.
Those meeting rooms were, I would say like I'm gonna keep that for like a side conversation, but
Right.
it was gnarly. It was pretty cool. I
It
liked
was
it.
pretty cool. Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. Anytime you get to be a part of the NFL, I mean, the Shield, it's pretty cool experience. So,
yeah,
leading into that, obviously, things didn't quite work out there. But
yeah.
you found a home with the Rough Riders. So how did that all come about?
So I got like someone someone's someone talked to me through my social media, and they was asking me if I was interested in going to CFL. I said yeah, and then the next thing you know, I had a call coming from Saskatchewan, and like a regular person, I thought it was maybe like a hacker or a scam or
Right.
something like that. So I let it go to voicemail, and I shouldn't have let it go to
All right.
voicemail because it was the GM. And I'm sitting there like, oh man, like, yeah, you called me. I'm so sorry, Mr. Call. I would love this opportunity. And I'm talking to my agent about it. He's like, no, we're going to keep doing NFL workouts. We're going to keep doing NFL workouts. And I'm like, well, every time I do a workout, they say they want to see live film that's not Ferris State because they want to see me against other competition. And he was like, all right, that's true. So we're going to give it a shot. So I go up to Saskatchewan and I have a 2-year stint with them. And due to COVID, I had to come back early. And it was another one of a kind experience because Saskatchewan Roughriders, a lot of people will tell you this that they have the best facilities,
Yes.
like top tier best
Yep.
facilities, and they have some of the best people. Like not like, people might say a couple different things about Regina itself, but to me it was homey because it felt like Big Rapids
Right. Right.
in
Yeah. I
terms of
was
how comfortable it was. No fandom, like everybody treats you like a regular person. Perfect. I just go to work, right?
right.
It
Right.
ain't nothing extra, ain't nothing in between. So
Right.
I love my experience up in the CFL. It was one of a kind.
I was gonna say the weather definitely was probably around the same. Big
Yeah,
Rapids
it was the
in
same issue
Canada.
for sure.
Yeah, it's the Great White North is what we call it. It's just a blanket of snow. It's great. But yeah, no, that's an incredible experience. So those 2 years, what did you learn up there that really did you learn anything up there that really helped your career?
Yeah, definitely. I met a lot, like a lot connecting with people and networking. I met a lot of people. Cam Jefferson, he played for the Kansas City Chiefs back when they
Uh-huh.
won. Like, no, he played for the Super Bowl team for the Broncos.
Oh,
The
okay,
most
yep.
recent one. the most recent one.
Yep. 15.
And yep,
Yeah.
yep. With Peyton Manning, and he didn't. Yep, yep.
Yep. The Cam
So he
fumble.
played with them, and I got the ability to go talk with people like him and Teague and stuff who had played for the Jets, and they taught me a lot. You know, like when I was in the NFL camps, the vets wasn't trying to teach rookies. It was like, you know, the rookies had to come in and either impress the coaches enough to stay on the team, or that was that. When I went up to the CFL, they were developing guys. And a lot of the older dudes like Cam, he was all about developing guys. A lot of them was going to turn into coaches someday, and they did. But it was like you go from competing against everybody to competing for the coaches to see, and the players, we're like a family. We're building each other up to be the best version of each other. Because once you go to like a lower league, it's not about the money anymore. It's about the championship.
Right.
They want to win, you know, and that's what's important to them. It's just like Division II. It's not about going to the NFL so much to say. It's more about how many rings did you get while you was in college.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So like going to the CFL, it was a great experience for me. I loved every bit of it. I got to meet and learn so much from the coaches, from the players, you know. So many people.
Just an incredible experience. It sounds like you met a lot of good people. You learned a lot about yourself and your talents. And so I actually hear you just signed on with the Green Bay Blizzard for 2025. So, you know, obviously big congratulations to you on that one. I'm super excited to see what you could do up there. Obviously I'm glad you're not playing for the other Green Bay team, you know, selfishly, but hey, you know, anyways, yeah, congratulations very, very much on that. And, you know, so what led into that, you know, this year?
Say it again.
Oh, Sarah, what led into that this year?
Honestly, I want to say a shout out to a Grand Valley alumni, Terry Mitchell. Terry got me back playing football. Honestly, he had, I was at a coaching convention at Grand Valley and, happened to bump into him. And he was like, "Hey, are you still playing or anything? Or are you just coaching?" And I was like, you know, I'd be interested in it. Like, why? What you talking about? Like something outdoors?" And he was like, "No, I'm talking about indoors." And I had told indoor football teams no for quite a long time after getting cut from Saskatchewan. I was like, "No, I want to stay outdoors. I don't even want to go play indoors. I'm not good with it." So when Terry hit me up about it, it felt more like it didn't feel like I was being like chased down to go play. It was more like I could just go up to West Michigan, Ironman, and Muskegon, and go back and go to work and coach in Grand Rapids. And that seemed simple, right? So I got to slowly pretty much get back in the pool and swim around and hit people and figure out why I love football again. So that helped me so much, especially with coaching, because I got to re-experience what it was that brought me to football.
That's awesome.
You know, like once I got to go play there because of Terry Mitchell, everybody started calling again. And the other indoor teams was like, "Hey, wait, you're playing indoor. You said you never play indoor. What's happening with that?" So it was like, okay, you're right. Okay. I was maybe bugging a little bit. I should have came and come play. I missed out, right? But I'm here. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready to go. What you want? So the Blizzard hit me up. I knew someone personally, a good friend of mine. He knew the head coach, Corey. And Mr. Robinson was like, "Hey, you want to come play or what? No BS. You come up here, you play. We might have something else afterwards, but you got to come with everything you got." And I was like, "Okay."
You're like, "Yep, I'll bring it."
Here I come.
Wow, dude, that is awesome, and I'm so excited to see you continue your career. You know, you've obviously got about everything you could want to be a dominating offensive lineman, including the tape, which I will show people because it is awesome tape. I'll tell you that. So, you know, that's fantastic. Again, big congratulations to joining the Blizzard. Wait to see what you do up there. You know, and so now, like I said, continuing our trend of going back in time, right? Going backwards, you know, the combine experience. So as you know, the fourth quarter finish is heading to the combine this year for the first time as branded. So very excited. Very excited. Thank you. Thank you very much. So I thought it would be fun to ask you some questions about, you know, what is that whole experience like? I mean, not many people at all in this world get to see the behind the scenes, behind that curtain of what teams are talking to you about. What is it like?
My first day flying in from Exos in Arizona to Indianapolis was surreal. I get there, Nate Davis is my travel buddy, and we get to the hotel. They got the little goodie bags with your name tags and stuff in it. They got little room cards with like, hey, you get to go to the Nike suite, you get to go to the Adidas suite, you get to go to the Under Armour suite, you get the gift card, you get East Bay, like when East Bay was still a thing,
Right.
I got an East Bay backpack. I'm gonna keep that forever. Like that's
Right.
vintage to me. So it's like, yeah, it was just like everything you see on TV plus more. And then I get to the train station in room 1402, and I'm sitting there like, do I go to sleep? Or do
Right.
I try to stay up and absorb all of this? And it's like, I got to perform. I got to go do 40 bench press. I got to go do this. I got to go talk to the Giants. I got to go talk to the Jets. I got to go talk to the Raiders. I got to go. Like, I got to meet Dan Campbell before he went to the Lions. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm sitting there, I'm sharing moments with him at the table, talking with him. So it's like, it was, I didn't sleep. I didn't sleep one bit.
Wow.
I stayed up my 4 days. I stayed up every night, every day. And I performed. I went and performed. I didn't cramp or anything. I gave it my best. I put up 27 on the bench press. 5'1", 240. I flew. I was doing everything. I was 338 pounds with a 14% body fat.
Wow.
They talked about DK. They talked about DK. Me and DK trained at the same place. So everybody that left out of Exos that year had a low body fat percentage and a lot of muscle and a lot of speed and a lot of power. I'm not kidding. Exos will give you that. It will give you that. Like I'm sitting there I'm not cheat repping, right? I'm not bouncing the chest. I'm not bouncing my back. I'm not half weight, No, right. Full press, lockouts, 27 straight lockouts. Like, wow. I'm sitting there like, I'm hanging with the big dogs. Like, I'm here, right. like, and people talking to me like, I'm telling people I'm going to Ferris State. I tell the lady at the desk who's handing out the goodie bags, I'm from Ferris State. And she goes through the list and she's like, Prairie State? Rutgers. Oh, it's a Division II kid here. Oh, you're Division II? I would have never guessed that. And I'm sitting there like, thank you. That's a compliment, but my school was really good too. Like, that's another thing I want to get on. So like when I was there, the entire time I'm telling people about how great Ferris is and how much better we were than them. Right. I'm there with Michael Jordan. And I'm not talking about Michael Jordan in the NBA. I'm talking about Michael Jordan, who played on Cincinnati, who came out of Ohio State. You know what I'm saying? Like, you feel me? Like, so I'm there with those type of guys, and they talking to me like I'm like one of them. And I see the conversations with the other Division II person, and they talking down to them. And I'm like, come on, man. Like, we all here. Like, can we all just be cool? Right. So like it was a lot to absorb in 4 days. That's crazy. And like we didn't even stop training once we got there. They had an Exos like little hotel like lobby piece that was like still working the 40, still working the bench press, pool time, like exercise, massages, all type of stuff. So it's super jam packed, it's super intense, but it gets you ready for like how intense it's about to become, because like that's just a taste of it, right? You think just getting drafted or signing with a team after is gonna be the easy part, but that's even harder than the draft in most cases, because those conversations they're having with you, they aren't having the normal conversation. They having a triggering, gaslighting conversation. They having a nice, sweet conversation. They trying to confuse you a little bit. Like they really want to make sure they can try to weed out as many people as hard, as they can. Get the right person.
Yeah, and you said, before we started the recording, but you said that they actually would give you like tests and tell you, oh, it's not mandatory, but it is mandatory.
Giants, and I had to do the 200-page pamphlet, and I'm sitting there looking at it like it's longer than the ACT. What am I supposed to do with this? Like, this is insane. Yeah. And then it has like math questions, regular everyday questions about football, but not a lot of questions about football. Other different type of questions. And I'm sitting there like, wait, is this a football test, or is this like a helmet test, or is this a IQ test, or is it? And you don't supposed to do so much thinking on the giant test. You're just supposed to go through.
Right. You're
You
supposed to just
you're supposed to go straight through that.
wow.
So,
That
yeah, like between the
that's
test
crazy.
and even the combine test, that IQ test was intense. They had people walking through the aisles, like ex-players walking through the aisles, checking people to make sure people wasn't cheating. Right? They had DK Metcalf's dad.
And obviously, I remember DK Metcalf's dad playing for the Bears, not physically, but I remember he played for the Bears and he was a pretty big dude. So like having that presence around you must have been pretty crazy.
It was another surreal moment. It was like you slowly notice how many people are related to who and how many people actually know who, and it's like it give like once you get to that point, then it clicks to you why LeBron got drafted out of high school because it's
Right.
not so much his talent, right? It was his talent, who he knew, who his mama
Yep.
knew, and that's what got on there, right?
Yep.
So that's what I'm talking about. Those connections you make in high school are extremely important at the right places at the right high schools because
Right.
a coach Whitney Bell, a coach P, they know the scouts. They
Yep.
know the NFL people. They know the D1 college coaches. They tied in really heavy, and it's like a layered cake, and you better make sure you got every layer of that cake before you go.
Right. Right. Right.
Literally.
Exactly. Like you said, I had a great friend of mine. He's on the CHGO podcast. His name's Greg, and he has talked about before. The NFL is not as much about. It's not as much about the talent as it is about who you know. Even the media side of things, it's the same thing. It's about who you know and how they can get you to be seen in the spotlight. And it's just crazy just how much is behind the scenes of all of that. Like it's just
Yeah.
you don't believe it until you hear it. But that's crazy. So, they told you obviously a lot of things. You heard from a lot of teams, it sounds like. So what workouts, what preparation did you have that helped get you there?
Everything I went through at Exos, it was like everything you can imagine, all the way to like the Jameis Winston workouts, to doing goofy stuff, to at one point, like like the O line coach had us put like bike links around, like the chain links around our forearms to have tight hands, right, and to catch and strike a 75-pound med ball, right, and drive.
Wow.
And you're like, as I'm describing this sounds crazy, but it's like
Right.
you aren't going to pull apart the chains unless you're the Hulk, right? Nobody's that strong,
Right.
right? So
Right.
it's forcing your body to get used to wanting to clench your stomach with your elbows and to press from there, because that's a better natural press than trying to go from here to here and possibly getting that torn shoulder, labor room surgery after the season.
Right.
So I went through a lot of weird stuff in the pool, stuff out of the pool, stuff in sand, stuff in gravel, stuff in regular grass, muddy situation. It was like, why am I running full speed on mud? I'm gonna fall and slip.
Right.
No,
Right.
you run full speed and then you don't come to a halt. You just keep on running till you slow down and then you stop, right? And then it's like, why did I do that? Because now you're working like against the force of the mud moving, right? So now
Right.
when you run on something that's not moving as much, you're going.
Wow.
You're out. Why go run? Why
Right.
go run
Right.
full speed on sand? Because once you go on a flat surface, you should be out if you use the same form.
Right. Right. Right.
And it works
That's
those like ligaments and the little small things within the body that you can't hit on a regular workout. So
all the little things.
you just be prepared to do anything and everything to get you that opportunity.
Get to that opportunity. That's crazy. I didn't realize that you went on different terrains. I mean, that's like you said, that's crazy talk. But I guess they're trying to prepare you in so many different ways that we don't think about normally on a
Yeah.
occasional day, like you said. So that's incredible. And I wanted to hear a little bit more about. So you talked about Exos. You met some pretty remarkable people at Exos. Tell us about some of the stories there.
Like I got to meet Richie Incognito during the little phase he had with the
Yep.
Dolphins, and I like personally, I would say he was one of the nicest people I ever met. Real down to earth. He let me work out with him, gave me a lot of tips. Got to got to train with DK Metcalf, and I got to train with Debo Samuel, and I got to train with AJ Brown, and I forget the big D tackle from the Old Dominion.
Oh, yeah,
Like
yeah.
my Exos roster picture is insane. It's one of a kind for sure.
Right. Yeah, that must have been cool. Did you get a chance to speak to a lot of those guys too, or was it just,
Yeah.
work
Oh
out
yeah.
with
Oh yeah.
folks?
It
Yeah.
was no. It was like when I said when I got to that point and got to like the NFL PA Bowl and got to work out with those guys, after working out with them and me showing them that like I wasn't lacking in that area, right?
Mhm.
They let me conversate, hang with them. Like I get to hang with an Andre James who's the starting center for the Raiders. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right, right.
you feel me? Like I'm hanging with Isso from Weber University who goes and sits behind on the Philadelphia Eagles and wins Super Bowl as practice squad. You know what I'm saying? Like it's
Right,
people
right.
like that are letting me in their circle based off my work ethic, and they see how consistent I am, right? Because I match a D1's level of consistency, but I did it at a D2 level. But I still got to the same level with those guys, and they
Right.
respect that.
Right. Yeah, that's
So,
that
like,
respect
yeah, I
game.
got to joke around with them. I got to hang with them, go out with them, eat with them. You know what I mean? Like, it was really cool.
That's really, really cool. Like that's one of a kind type experience. You've had a one of a kind type of experience your entire life, it sounds like. You're doing a lot of things that people could only dream of. Especially coming from a small town like Caledonia. I mean, talking about the guys you see on your TV screen like every Sunday is insane to me. It's like I've never seen anybody in my area come out of this area that's been that caliber, even close.
Yeah.
So I should say yet. It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. I feel it. So I wanted to get more into your college career now. Obviously the pro stuff is so awesome, but your Ferris State career was one of a million, I would say. It's just incredible. You started 52 consecutive games, and I will start saying 52 because that's right. But take us into your Ferris State years. 4 years in the trenches. What was playing at that school like for you?
Um. So my true freshman year, it, it it was a proving year for me. That proved once again I had to prove to people that like I could hang with them and beyond. And like I'm gonna throw some names out there that aren't like they didn't get to the big stage and really define themselves. But like a Marcus Cribbs, right?
Mhm.
Marcus Cribbs coached down at De La Salle this year, and they got really close, right, with Coach
Yep.
Roan and stuff like that, right?
Yep.
Marcus Cribbs was the best D tackle at Division II, and would have been one of the best D tackles in Division I if things didn't go south for him, right?
Hmm.
So I'm going against a Marcus Cribbs. I'm going against a Justin Zimmer. I'm going against like a lot of some of the best Muskegon Big Reds high
Yep.
school they
Yep.
got, Carlton Johnson. I'm sitting there like, what am I going to do with these guys? Because they already set, right? They juniors and seniors, and I'm a freshman
Right.
on scout team trying to prove to these 21-year-olds that this little 18-year-old boy can hang with them. So once I got to the point that I could hang with them, I knew all I had to do was hit the weight room and everything else was going to be history.
Right.
And it was. Like, I went from 285 as a freshman to 320 as a redshirt freshman. And yeah, it was like I was in the weight room. I was in the Rock every day. The Rock fed
Yeah.
me every day, all 5 years. I love the Rock. I think the Rock is a 5-star eatery place in
Yep.
for sure.
Yep.
But yeah, so like getting them to give me the recognition that I needed to become confident, well, not confident, but confident was extremely like something I sought out for. So it was really cool. My red shirt year, I got to play with Jason. That was really cool. And Jason was like a tank. It was impossible to take him down, especially when he started running. He had a deep ball to him. Then we move on to my redshirt sophomore year. I get Tyler Allison to come in, and
Mhm.
once I get talking to Tyler, I made him my. So I got the trust of a niece so much that I got to pick who I wanted to play next to. Not so much the whole other four, right? Because we
Right.
still had like the mayor still there, and he's starting
Right.
at center. Jake's still starting right there at center. So I can't move him, right?
Right.
I
Right.
ain't
Right.
gonna even touch him, right? Respectfully, right? He earned it.
Right.
So I was like, can I get him at left guard though? Because I need him. I got a good feeling. So I got to play with Tyler, and man, like we became the dynamic duo. Like that was my guy. Like if you see any of my highlights, he in it for sure. Because it was
Yep.
like at one point we playing Wayne State. I take a guy, he already got a guy on the ground. I see that, right? Out my little peripheral. I see that. I take the guy, table time. Right over top. Got
Double
a picture of
decker.
it. Like it was
Double
the best
decker.
moment.
Oh, dude, the double decker is
Like
always
I
my
had like
favorite.
so many, like going against Ashland and their home turf, bruh. Like I used to just go insane. Like, cause it was so much fun playing. You play with your people and you get to know everybody. That's the beautiful thing about college. You get to develop yourself and you get to get a friend that's going to develop with you, right? So now
Right.
you and him and probably the other 4 or 5 people are probably really, really, really good, right? Because you
Right.
guys all stay consistent. You wrote down what you wanted to hit, things you wanted to become, things you wanted to do, and now you it. Now you looking like Georgia or something. Like
Right.
my junior year, I got the pledge Omega Psi Phi, and that's not really, that's important to me.
Mm-hmm.
And after I pledged, I don't even know what clicked in me. Like I had learned to be angry, so I learned how to play with anger.
Right there.
So redshirt freshman year and redshirt sophomore year, very nice kid. And that's not good for the trenches, especially in college, because a D lineman will try to pick on you and get in your feelings. So I got
Yep.
a lot of people that got me emotionally my sophomore year, and I used to get to talking back.
Yep.
Junior year, whole different story. Like it was like I was quiet and I was just smoking people, just anybody who was in my way. I was just pancake highlight. I like I said, I carried the high school mentality of I'm getting in third and fourth quarter. I need to get a highlight. This is very important to me. To every game at Ferris had to be a highlight for me. Like every play was that important to me. Like, and if you get to that mindset, like, and you understand the scheme and the play, you got to get to the biggest stage to get noticed. You start to do things within the play itself to make it work.
Right.
Even when it shouldn't. Right. You getting blitzed by 3 people on the outside, and it's an inside run play, and then ain't no way in hell the running back about to hit it inside.
Right.
If you got 2 on the outside and you got 1 inside the end, what's gonna happen? I'm 6'7". I'm about to make it work. You know what I mean?
Yep.
If that means I gotta slide inside and I gotta block 4 people and it might get called for holding, but I might not get called for, I'm gonna do it.
You gotta do it.
I want to win.
Right.
I want to win.
Yep.
And I don't want to just scrape by winning. I want to win. I want to blow you out.
Yeah, that is part of that dog mentality you talk about. It's doing whatever it takes. It's hey, if I got to take 4 people on at once in the middle of the game, sure, I'll do it. I don't care. I'll do it. And that's real. I think part of that is what helped with your career is just that consistency of I'm just going to be a dog and I'm going to win no matter whatever I put my mind to. So that's fantastic, obviously. And the last thing I would say that I want to know is there any tips you would give to a younger version of your Ferris State self?
Younger freshman me, I would say, please get to know Ryan Hodges right away. Don't wait till you start flunking out of school. Take those first 5 weeks serious. Go to all the study halls. Do not miss one. You'll be surprised on how much fun college will be later years rather than your first year there. Choose the long road and not the short one. Don't look for instant gratification. If you got that all your life, go to college and you don't get it, don't cry and want to run away, because when things get hard, it's usually for a good reason.
Right.
In most cases, it's usually for a good reason. You might need to learn something here, and you might be missing it, and you need to be more open to it. So if I'm telling my younger self or another younger generation person that's going to Ferris, be open to be coached, be open to learn, and go to class.
And that's so huge. And I'm so glad that you can pass those things down to, younger generations of players. It's so important for them to understand, it's a tough game. College is a tough game. Football is a tough game. You got to stay true to yourself, and that's a good thing. But last thing I wanted to say about Ferris State before the next section is Anis. Obviously, what is he like as a coach? I've heard through the whispers of how he kind of is, but
you talk about Coach P, but like Coach Anis is like a different that's a mini Mustang right there. That's a short body. What's the was it that '92 Mustang, the little small
Yeah,
one?
yeah, yeah,
That's
yep.
what he is. He a stallion for sure. Like he knows because he has a psychology background, and I didn't learn this
Wow.
till after, right?
Right,
He knows how to pick what kind of conversation to get the right dialogue out of a player. So they can, like I said, like earlier about like trying to get the player to love the game more.
right,
I
right.
get that from him, right? That's
Wow.
watching him. Like we get a J. Rue on there, and with all everything how people felt about Rue, he got Rue to play all 4 quarters and act, and be a great person at Ferris. People felt like they couldn't do that, and he made
Right.
it look kind of easy. He really
Shit.
did. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right, right.
he could take someone if someone feels like that's damaged goods, he will see the gold in them. Even if it's just a football aspect, and bring that out of them and show them that gold and be like, hey, you can apply this outside of there too.
Mhm.
This isn't just you being a great football player. You can also apply some of this to your real life to elevate yourself to be a great person as well. Like
Right.
Anis is 101. He 101. He go, if you follow his, he got a Saban type mindset where it's like, he go get it out of you for the win.
Hmm.
And if you respect that and you want to win in life, you go there. You're
Dude.
not gonna go to the person who go sugarcoat it. You're not gonna
Right,
go to the person who gonna make you feel sweet and like everything just come easy, because nothing come easy, right?
right. That's
You know what I mean?
straight. Right. Right.
Like,
No, 100%. Like it's the people that are going to be hardest on you that are the ones that are going to help you the
and he's
most.
not, but like he's not even like truly like it's not even him being hard,
Right.
like tough
Right.
love maybe, but not even
Right.
like real tough, right? Because he not gonna beg you to do nothing.
Right.
He not go like he might go out of his way to ask you, but he not go really tug at you to really get you to do something. He goes put it out in front of you. You either want it or you don't.
Right. He's
And
going
he
to lay
will
it
move
out.
on to the next person.
Wow. That's crazy. Like I mean,
Like if you feel that and you know that and you okay with that, you are going to elevate your game like
I
20
mean,
million times what it
I,
was before.
right. I mean, you don't get 3 rings in a row for just anything, like I mean,
He went 3 conference championship rings, a gap year, COVID year, and then just took off with 3 national championship rings. Like he
he's
didn't
like
miss.
it's just he's incredible, and I'm so, like I said, jealously and selfishly, uh I'm glad he's in Michigan, to be honest with you. Like I love rooting for Ferris State. They're actually my favorite, my one of my favorite schools. Like I just love their colors, and Big Rapids itself is really special to me. I grew up going up there a lot, so Ferris State has a special place in my heart. So seeing them succeed is always really cool. That's not a shot at any other school. Just want to put that out there. But
I
just
feel the same way. I feel the same way.
like, all right, just want to put it out there. It's not a shot at any other school. Just special to me.
Yeah.
So obviously, going into that, Michigan, right? I want to talk a little bit about you growing up in Illinois. What was high school like over there, football wise, to compared to West Michigan?
I wouldn't even. It's not comparable. The like I would say like my marching band, they used to march us into the field. That was really cool.
Mhm.
And like the fans, the stands was pack out. But once I got the coach in West Michigan, like you go to a West Ottawa game, and it don't got to be that packed out, and it's amazing between the flickering lights and how the crowd is. You go to the Jenison Hudsonville game, and they tailgating and they're out there. They're not partying per se, but like they're hype, they're extreme.
Right.
Like the whole family's outside, cousins, brothers, uncles, grannies. Everybody's at the game. Like it's beyond packed. You got airplanes flying across the field. It's a different atmosphere. It almost give you like a college vibe, but you aren't going to see this at most colleges,
Right.
especially in Michigan, right? Unless it's a huge D1.
Right.
You're probably going to walk away from your time playing high school ball in West Michigan and be like, I kind of did play in college.
Right. Right. Like, yeah, that's for real. Like, I mean, it's just how much has changed, in the past few years with, Hudsonville, Caledonia, West Ottawa, Granville, just East Catwood. I mean, for crying out loud, all of these schools have put so much money into their programs, their stadiums, their bleachers, their everything around it. It's just crazy to see just the atmosphere now. And hearing from someone that came out of state, you just don't realize it sometimes when you're in it, like just how lucky we are to have that kind of atmosphere. I mean,
like every game is a packed game. Winning streak. I mean, not winning streak. A winning record or no or a losing record. It doesn't matter. They're coming to watch these games. Like in Illinois, if you aren't winning, no one's coming. Past your mom and your
right,
granny probably, but even then, like my mom didn't go to all my games.
right.
Like it's
That's,
important. It's football was important on the west side of Michigan, and I felt that. It wasn't something I just saw. It was like I felt that as well.
I was gonna say, so rivalries over here must have a little different meaning compared to
Oh, for
Illinois. Then,
sure,
like,
for sure. Like you hear about Rockford, and it's like like that's blood. Like
yep,
they really go whatever the team going against Rockford, they like I'm gonna take it to them.
yep, yep. Like that, we always called it when we were in football. And I tell the young kids this too. Is like, listen, they're the kings of Grand Rapids. Like they're the team that for probably the past 25 years has been the number one in Grand Rapids. Like you want that mantle, you gotta step up to their standards, like
That
truthfully.
part.
And yeah, and like it's just crazy. But that's that level. They are at a certain level and you gotta match that. That's just how it is. So rivalry wise, Rockford is one of those names that around Cowdown you can't say too loud.
No, 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 yeah.
Can't do it. It's just can't do it. Especially, at least we got them in the
For
playoffs.
a
But
while, it was like they would just refer to them as the orange team up north, and that was about it.
yep, yeah, it's for real. It's for real. Like, dude, Pittsburgh Steelers and the Bengals, or the AFC North in general. But that count on your Rockford right there. It's right in that bad blood category. But
Sure.
obviously, one to kind of start wrapping up here. But one last thing I wanted to ask: what led Ferris to be your home for for your college career? Like, what led into that?
Coming out of high school after my senior seasons, my senior season, I walked in with a lot of offers. I walked out with very few because I had things shook out. Rob Zeitman was very clear cut about how he wanted things to look for me if I were to go to Ferris. And I took what he said to be honest and truthful. And once I got there, it was everything he said it to be. So I was happy that I made that choice. Like, you want to hear something funny at the end of this?
Sure.
For signing day for my high school, I told my Spanish teacher, that was my second period teacher, and I was like, hey, I got to go downstairs to sign my letter of intent to go to college. And she was like, no, you don't. You don't have a scholarship. And all the kids in the class laughed. And then one kid was like, no, Bo has a scholarship from this school in Big Rapids. And she was like, there is no school in Big Rapids, sir. And I was like, it's called Ferris State. You could Google it. Like, it is a school in Big Rapids. And she was like, Grand Rapids? And I was like, I'm not talking about Grand Valley. I'm talking about Ferris State. And she was like, if you walk out of my class, I'm giving you a detention. I walked out of her class and went downstairs and signed my letter of intent. And as they announced my name over the intercom and she walked over the banister and saw me signing there, I was pointing to my mom and was like, hey, that's the lady that wouldn't let me out of class. So she didn't give me a detention, and history was still made. But I never heard from a lot of those people again because, a lot of them was wrong.
Right. You're like, that is crazy. You almost didn't get to sign your letter of intent because of a Spanish teacher not knowing that Ferris State was a school in the world. That is crazy and funny in every single way. But I'm glad you did. I think everybody is glad you did. Ferris State, to even now, your family, me, Heinz mustard and ketchup. I don't know. All of the above. Like, we're all happy that you did. So, just again, last thing I wanted to touch on before I let you go, because, obviously it's late at night, dinner's probably on the table somewhere. But at the end of the day, what do you want your legacy to be at the end of the day?
I want my legacy to be something that inspires others not to give up on themselves and to continue to try, even when trying seems like impossible or something they shouldn't do, or maybe it's better for them to just quit. I think you should just keep trying. That's my legacy. I just want whoever you are, whatever position you're in, whatever your dreams are, don't settle for what others are telling you to settle for. If you really feel like you can make it somewhere, go make it. Go make it happen. Now, you just got to choose the road and go through the hard bumps by yourself. But if you're willing to do that, you're willing to make it.
And that's fantastic. You know, I think that's a great life lesson for people. And obviously, you know, I think you've got already one incredible legacy, my man. I think you're leaving behind a blazing hot trail, I would say, of just greatness. And so I'm super excited to see what the rest of your career looks like, what the rest of your coaching career, playing career, whatever it is. Just I'm rooting for you. You know, you got a fan here, and you know, I just want to say thank you so much for coming on and talking, and thank you very much as well for joining us on the podcast. We'll make sure you get your payment as well. But thank you so much. You know,
yeah, no problem.
And I hope to talk to you again, man, and see how things are going. We'll get
I gotta get you at a Blizzard game. I got you with a ticket.
Dude, you got it. Like I said, I'm just a trip across the lake. You know, it's not far, but
yep. Let me know.
Might have to wear my Bears gear. You know, but no, I'm messing. It'll be all good. But thank you guys so much for watching. You know, big thanks to Devon for coming on here and giving us his time. It's just been great. So stay tuned. We've got more episodes coming up very shortly, and stay tuned for the fourth quarter finish.
Thank you for listening to the Fourth Quarter Finish podcast. Please like and subscribe. To support the athletes that are featured, check out their personal links down below. Fourth Quarter Finish, hard-hitting takes.